Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. More protests planned at Old Trafford. Our next game at home is Leicester City. Will the Old Trafford protests force the Glazers out of Manchester United? Now the Glazers could be forced to sell Manchester United, but only for £4 billion. The Man United-Liverpool game, as you all know, got postponed on Sunday because our fans protested against the Glazers. Hundreds of our fans went inside Old Trafford and invaded the pitch. Gary Neville gave his perception on it, and he blames the Glazers for the protests. Now, not so long ago, this was before the Liverpool game, our fans were protesting outside Old Trafford against the Glazers and they burned the American flag. The other week, our fans protested against the Glazers at Carrington, and some of our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground. And they had banners saying MUFC 20, 51%, we decide when you play, and Glazers out. We could face a points deduction following the Old Trafford protests. Recent reports have said that the Glazers have got no intentions of selling Manchester United, so reflecting on that, they are here to stay. They're planning to increase the club's value to around £7 billion. Solskjaer did say not so long ago that the Glazer family will not sell Manchester United, and before that he told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. Not so long ago, the Glazers apologised over the European Super League plan. The Glazers have put Manchester United in a lot of debt. So you can understand the frustration, but I do believe they took it too far. The Glazers have been at Manchester United for 16 years now. They've been with us since 2005. They bought the club for £500 million. But it'd be the right decision by Manchester United to get the Glazers out, because I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time, so we need to recommend new owners in. The game against Liverpool, I think it should be on the 15th or the 16th of May. Obviously, it is going to be rearranged. Now on my next video, I will be giving you the preview for the Roma-Manchester United game in the Europa League semi-final second leg. Obviously, the other week, we had some very good news regarding Ed Woodward, because it got announced that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United Vice Chairman, and he will stand down at the end of the year. I presume all United fans were delighted with the news regarding Ed Woodward, because Ed Woodward has been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time, and we've been very critical of him. Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. The other week, Ed Woodward's house got attacked by masked protesters. Woodward, I think, will get to choose Manchester United's next chief executive. It said not so long ago that we've been looking at 5 candidates who could replace Ed Woodward. It actually said that Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. If we recommended Edwin van der Sar in, I think it would be the right decision by the club, because obviously Edwin van der Sar knows the club well, and plus he's got that experience. He's currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment, and you've got to credit him for the work he has done at Ajax. Now obviously you know the news on the transfers. There's a lot of players that Manchester United are looking at. Now obviously Man United are still very, very interested in Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. There was narratives coming out yesterday saying that Borussia Dortmund have set their asking price for Jadon Sancho. It's £78 million. Borussia Dortmund recently confirmed that they have a gentleman's agreement with Sancho over a possible transfer. Borussia Dortmund have already admitted that they'll sell Jadon Sancho for the right price this summer, and earlier on this season Borussia Dortmund's CEO did reveal that the club will discuss exceptional offers for Sancho. We're confident we can get him on the cheap. You know, we've spoke with Jadon Sancho's representatives over the potential move. Earlier on this season it said that we was preparing a bid of £50 million. And before that it said we paused our transfer pursuit of Sancho due to the progress of Mason Greenwood. Earlier on this season as well it said that Dortmund had revealed their asking price. It said they wanted £88 million. Last summer, Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target, and Sancho to Man United last summer was extremely close because, as you all know, the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and even a contract had been agreed. The main explanation we didn't get him is because we was not willing to meet Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline. So Sancho remained at Dortmund. And Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Christian Falk from Bild. Jadon Sancho has scored 46 goals in 133 appearances for Dortmund. Provided quite a lot of assists as well. This has been his 4th season at Dortmund. In a lot of his games at Dortmund he's been consistent, but he's enjoyed a couple of bad periods here and there. He said earlier on this season that he enjoying a bad season, but he said he was happy to be back among the goals. You know, Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017, and he's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2023. Dortmund are planning to sell Sancho, so they have much greater chance of keeping Erling Haaland. But if Sancho comes to Manchester United, I think he'll do well. He'll fit in. He'll create chances for us. I think he'll also score goals. And he's still young and he's got a lot of development in him. Raphael Varane, you know, he's been another player on our agenda. Now, the last time I read up regarding Raphael Varane, it said that we actually ended our interest in Raphael Varane. He did come out not so long ago, Raphael Varane, and said that his future is clear. Before that, it said we'd been handed a boost in our pursuit of Rafael Varane, because it did say that Real Madrid are closing in on the signing of David Alaba from Bayern Munich. And it said actually Rafael Varane prefers a move to the Premier League over PSG. The other week it said that Chelsea were the favourites to sign Rafael Varane, and it said Chelsea were prepared to meet Real Madrid's 61 million asking price. Said they were ahead of us and PSG in the race. Bill's Christian Falk said the other week that Chelsea had entered the race for Rafael Varane, so it did say that they was looking to hijack our move. Earlier on this season, it said that Real Madrid were prepared to sell Rafael Varane on one condition: he must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. His contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. His current contract with Madrid expires next year. I'm very sceptical he'll extend his contract with Madrid. Eduardo Inda, the Spanish transfer expert, said earlier on this season that Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. Back in 2018, Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. The main explanations I'd take Rafael Varane at Manchester United is because 1, he's a world-class centre-half, 2, he'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line, 3, he's highly experienced, and 4, he's got a very good pedigree as a player. He's won 18 major honours at Real Madrid. He's made over 300 appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions. He's endured 10 years with them, so he's been a long-serving player. Real Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. There's been quite a lot of centre-halves on our agenda. It did say a few weeks ago that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. Pau Torres, he's been another centre-half on our agenda. Recent narratives have said that Man United are very, very interested in Pau Torres. We're aiming to complete the signing of Pau Torres before the European Championship begins, and we have been in advanced talks to sign Pau Torres. His release clause with Villarreal is around 43.4 million. Villarreal want us to meet his release clause, but I think his release clause increases to just over 56 million in the final 15 days of the summer transfer window. He said earlier on this season that Pau Torres was interested in coming to Man United, and the Real Madrid president Florentino Perez was infuriated with Man United for entering the race because Real Madrid were emerged as the favourites to get Pau Torres. Pau Torres obviously hasn't played in the Premier League yet. He's been very, very good though for Villarreal. He's been there a long time now, came up their youth academy, been in their senior squad a while. He's got a contract with Villarreal till 2024, and he did have a loan spell with Malaga. Still young, still got a lot of development in him. So would you take him at Manchester United? Obviously, the news on Jules Koundé from Sevilla. He's been another centre-half on our agenda. He recently said that Real Madrid had entered the race for Jules Koundé. Man United and Chelsea are also interested. Sevilla are willing to accept around 52 million for Koundé. His release clause is around £78 million. Earlier on this season, it said that Sevilla wanted around 68 million for Jules Koundé, but we was reluctant to meet that. But at one point, it said that we was prepared to pay around 61 million pounds. I'd take Jules Koundé at Manchester United, very good centre half. Been at Sevilla almost 2 years now, under contract with them till 2024. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux in the summer of 2019. But you know what? We may not even get a centre-half in the summer transfer window, because not so long ago, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. In the summer transfer window, I'm expecting Man United to do good business, and I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings, maybe even 5 signings, and I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. But yeah, in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. I'm expecting quite a few players to leave Man United in the summer transfer window, because obviously, we'll generate money and that will help us with our rebuilding process. David De Gea, good chance that we're going to sell him in the summer transfer window. We're planning to sell De Gea in order to keep Paul Pogba. Now, some Man United fans think it would be a mistake letting David De Gea go, but I don't think it would be, because I reckon now he's had his years at Manchester United. He's enjoyed 10 years at the club, so he's been a long servant. And I reckon now Dean Henderson's our number one anyway. David De Gea is now our second choice goalkeeper. He seems to just play in the Europa League now, does De Gea. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But in the last couple of years, he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea has like 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. Earlier on this season, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. He said he's preparing to leave Man United, and Manchester United are set to pay off his huge contract. Said we'd set the price for De Gea. It's £50 million. Few clubs have been interested. I think there's a very, very good chance he will go back to Spain, because obviously De Gea began his footballing career in Spain, didn't he, with Atletico. His family's from Spain. Girlfriends and that from Spain. Born in Spain. And back in 2015, he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. I can assure we'll certainly get a lot more for De Gea than what we paid for him. Sergio Romero, I'm also expecting us to offload him, because he's like our 3rd or 4th choice goalkeeper now. Most of Romero's appearances have come in the cup games. Romero's been at the club now around 6 years. He's been with us since 2015. Don't forget, we did get him on a free from San Pandora. Phil Jones, I'm also expecting us to offload him, because he's always been inconsistent, doesn't get in our 11 anyway, and he's been out of injury for over a year. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This has been his 10th season, I think, at Manchester United. I think there's a good chance that we'll offload Axel Tuanzebe, because he doesn't even get in our 11, Tuanzebe. The best game I recall Tuanzebe having for Man United was the game against PSG. Probably should loan him out though, don't get rid of him permanently. Still young as Tuanzebe, got a lot of development in him. He's a backup basically, isn't he? Alex Telles, I think there's a good chance that we're going to offload him. Said not so long ago that Alex Telles has decided to leave Manchester United. Calcio Mercato did say that Juventus are interested, and Juventus are willing to offer Adrian Rabiot in exchange for Telles. Telles has played nowhere near as much as I expected. In some of the games he's been involved in, he's done well, and some games he's been quite poor. But when we got Telles last summer, I expected him to be our first choice left back immediately, but hasn't happened. We got him in a deal worth £15.4 million from Porto. Diego Dalot, I'm expecting us to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Nemanja Matic, I'm also expecting us to offload him, because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders, and plus I've got my strong reservations about him, as you all know. Paul Pogba, I want him to stay potentially past the summer, but there's still a chance he could leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Now, it's recently said that Man United will sell Paul Pogba this summer if he doesn't sign a new contract. Apparently, Man United are willing to offer him a new £400,000 a week contract, but Paul Pogba's demanding £500,000 a week. Says Man United will demand around 80 million for Pogba this summer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Paul Pogba to stay. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United and he hopes he signs a new contract. And it said our players would be devastated if the club decided to sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. Mino Raiola recently said that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Manchester United or at another top European club. He did actually say that Paul Pogba's future is still in doubt, and he recently spoke about a Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. Mino Raiola's done a lot of talking during the course of this season. Earlier on this season he criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson, and he also said before that he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. And he did say earlier on this season though he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season. And Mino Raiola made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. And he made the announcement back in December regarding Paul Pogba, and Ollie was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement. But Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him, and his former club Juventus have been in for him. Pogba endured 4 very good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. I said there's a good chance he'll go back there if he leaves Man United in the summer. Pogba's current contract expires next year, doesn't it? Because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. But we've been getting the best out of Pogba in recent months. He does bring creativity to the team. Don't forget he was out with a thigh injury for a while earlier on this season. The first part of this season he had an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. But as it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing, paid £89 million for him, and this is Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. And we've got to keep him in that advanced role, Pogba, because that's where he's more effective. Quite a few times should I say, before we've played him in that deeper role. Now, there's obviously been rumours of Donny van der Beek leaving the club in the summer transfer window. Obviously, earlier on this season, it said that we was considering a Donny van der Beek swap deal. There was talks of an Adrian Rabiot and Donny van der Beek swap deal. But recent reports have said that we will reject any offers for Van der Beek this summer. So reflecting on that, we are reluctant to let him go. Solskjaer's obviously got big plans for Van der Beek. He's played nowhere near as much as I expected. Most of Van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. Juan Mata, I'm also expecting us to offload him. Because obviously he doesn't get in our 11. I've got my element of concerns about Mata anyway. He has lost that yard of pace, and plus he's 34, 35 now. But I do think he's had a good career at Man United, Juan Mata. He's been at the club over 6 years now, and we got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. And a lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial, because obviously Martial's no longer good enough to represent the club, and being out of form for the vast majority of this season. Martial's out with a knee injury at the moment. It's very, very likely he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Solskjaer confirmed that not so long ago. And Brandon Williams, I think we should loan him out as well, because he's our 3rd choice left back now and doesn't hardly play. He played quite a lot of games last season, but the only reason he did is because Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury. So there you go, and a lot of players are going to stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. The summer transfer window will be his 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. I'm expecting Man United to spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer earlier on this season did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer did warn that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that'll be a perfect fit for the club. Solskjaer wants good backing in the summer transfer window, and he deserves more backing. And you know what? I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves, because we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director, and we've got Matt Judge there. Matt Judge has been part of the club though for a long time. I just don't think Solskjaer has been backed enough so far. I can assure Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and obviously he'll be Man United manager next season, because it got made clear earlier on this season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. But we've got a very, very good chance of winning the Europa League. You know, we're more or less into the Europa League final. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first major final as Man United manager, because obviously we beat Roma 6-2 in the Europa League semi-final first leg. Obviously, like I said, we've got to play the second leg this Thursday. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson, but like I've said in my recent videos, I'm very, very sceptical that he is the long-term manager for Manchester United. Obviously, a lot of United fans are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and a lot of United fans believe that he's done a good job. And some United fans believe that he needs more time, but obviously there's been a lot of United fans that have been demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, and obviously has been criticised. Obviously there's main explanations behind it. This has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season at Man United. He's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years. And he's learned quite a bit on the job. He's gained some managerial experience, reflecting how long he's been with us. You know, before he was with us, he was at Mulder. He had 2 spells, didn't he, at Mulder? He won some trophies at Mulder, but they're not a big club. And before Mulder, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was disastrous. And don't forget, Ole managed the Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of this team grow and develop. Whether Solskjaer succeeds or not, those Man United manager will still always adore him, because at the end of the day, he's a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. You know, like I've said to you before, I do have my concerns about Ole, but there's also a lot of positives regarding Ole as well. So let's just put that into the equation. You know, we appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Solskjaer knew though when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Yeah, a lot of United fans think he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in. And some United fans don't think he's good enough to exceed expectations. And some United fans are very sceptical that we'll win a title under Ole. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so that's 8 years ago now. So anyway guys, what do you reckon to the news regarding, you know, more protests at Old Trafford against the Glazers? And that, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.